Welcome back to the channel. I have a couple of new parts that just showed up. I'll show you what we got here and what we're going to be working on. So we have the hood strut lift kit. I did introduce this before previously. This is just going to help assist the hood up. Right now we just have a prop and you just have to set that in place. This will actually guide the hood up and put it on those gas struts. And then we also do have a hood pin kit that we're going to be installing on this. So I'll show you why we're going to be installing the hood pin kit here once I close the hood. So with this hood closed all the way, if we come down here, we can still see this comes up a little bit and there's a gap, but this hood sets kind of high for what I would like it to be setting. So once we put these hood pins in, what this is going to do, hopefully put a little bit more pressure down on this and be able to get that so it's a little bit more even. We'll go ahead, I'm going to pop this hood and I'll show you where I plan to put these and how we're going to go about installing them. Where I plan to install these is going to be right where these rubber grommet pieces are. These should just untwist and unbolt out of here, and then I can go ahead and thread in my actual hood pin kit. This is going to fall, looks like right here. There's a nice flat spot with a round divot on it where this piece ends up falling. So we'll need to cut this out. Drill a hole through here so that way it can come through the other side, and we'll get this hood pin kit installed in here. So I'll go over that, and I'm also going to go over what's actually in this. So we'll just go ahead and break this down and I'll kind of show you how it works. This is everything that comes in the kit, minus there is one more piece of this. I just have that resting on the hood. This is the general location where it's going to be located on the car. So I did go with black so it would kind of blend in and be a little bit more discreet. But you have your actual rod that goes through the hood. You have the washers to secure this under the underside of the hood. And then you have these little tiny screws to screw this into the hood, your big washer piece. And then you have the actual pin part right here that will thread through this on the top side of the hood where this pokes through. So let's go ahead. We're going to find our locations, drill out a couple holes, and we'll get these installed then. Start by removing these grommet pieces. Just unscrew these out of here with your hands. I'm gonna now drill out these top sections that I know need to be drilled out. So this is the part where that grommet falls on, and it's also where my hood pin's gonna be going through. You can see there's already kind of like a round circular spot on here, and that's basically exactly the area that I'm needing to cut out here. So I picked up a bunch of actual circular drill bits here, and these will be pretty nice to cut this out, make short work of it. I have a 1 3/8 inch that should be just fine. So we'll go ahead, we're going to make sure this is centered, and we'll drill this one out here. Here's our first hole. Pretty good. It's pretty well centered, and it's just about the size that we need it to be. I think it'll work just fine. One thing that I probably should have mentioned beforehand is we're only cutting through this first layer. We are not cutting through the entire hood yet and drilling through this back side here. We're gonna have to drill a separate hole for just that hood pin that will stick through this hole here. We'll go ahead and we'll drill out that second one over there too as well. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and take our rod and we're gonna place this right where that grommet was that we pulled out. So this will fit in here, just like so. And as you can see, there is a little bit of room left. It is slightly big, but it's almost perfect size for doing this. That's pretty darn close, and we're gonna still run with it. So what we'll do is we'll take a nut. We'll need one to go on the top side and one on the bottom side. And then since it's a little bit big, I also did find some washers too that we're gonna run as well. So again, same thing with the nuts, one on the top and one on the back side. So we'll just get this loosely set in here. This isn't gonna be permanent. We're gonna have to move this rod either up or down. We'll see according with this hood part, but we'll just get it in here loosely. Make sure that it goes through these holes when we close the hood very softly to make sure that it works properly. One of the things I just noticed after I tried to thread in this first one was that when I threaded it in and it kind of tightened it down, it went in at an angle when I tightened it, similar to this right here. The reason being was because if we look at the other side over here actually first, one of these sides is down a lot lower than the other one, and that is basically just so the grommet part right here that was in here These threads are pretty big, so that way that these could actually thread in. If it wasn't even, it wouldn't be able to thread in. So what I did in order to push one of these sides up and get this whole surface even and level was I took a C-clamp, just put it over the top, and just set it on here just like this, and I tightened down right around that in order to push everything so that it's nice, flat, and even. So I will do that same thing on the other side. Both hood pins are now loosely set in here. They're not permanent right now. I will need to adjust that height like I mentioned, but they do look pretty straight up and down for the most part. They might be a little bit angled forward, but they're not bad at all. Just as long as they're not too significantly slanted or just off angle, relatively straight up and down, that should be fine. So what we'll do is we'll loosely and carefully shut this hood and keep an eye on both of these hood pins while we do that, and slowly rest the hood down in order just to make sure that both of these pins are going to fall inside of this hole right here. Confirmed everything does fit through these holes nicely. What we'll do is I do need to raise both of these up a little bit more so that they're higher, and that way they can reach all the way through this, all the way through that second layer on the very top. So we'll extend these up, and I'll show you what we're gonna do after that in order to make our holes in the hood exactly where we need them for these and also this size. We're gonna take a little bit of toothpaste, or you can also use any type of grease, but we're just gonna dab it right on the very top of this piece right here. Looking for a Colgate sponsor, so hit me up. Now that both of these are dapped up, we'll go ahead and slowly lower this hood down, and the idea is that this toothpaste or grease is going to transfer onto the inside of here, up in here, where we need to drill that hole out next. And then we'll push down on each side here. So this side, make sure it's hitting it. So that side looks like it's hitting. And then this side over here, push it down. We'll open it up and we'll see how these look under here. You can see there's the mark from the toothpaste right there. And then there is our other one right there. So we will go ahead and we're gonna drill these spots out. I have a 1/2" drill bit. I just measured this up to these washer pieces right here, and this is just about the right size to fit on here. So this is what we'll go ahead and drill them out with. We do have the holes both in there and there, so we'll go ahead, we'll shut this hood down, close it very gently, again making sure that these do align up where they need to. So there's our holes on the top of the hood. So there we go, we can see our piece right there sticking right through that hole. And then again over here, we also do see if we push the hood down, it will fall into place here. Looks like this one may have been off just slightly. Could have drilled it over a little bit further this way. And then we also do have this wrap. So it probably would have been a better idea to do this before the wrap, but obviously we already have it on, so we don't have much of a choice here. I'm gonna need to just kind of cut this wrap out where that hole is drilled. This is gonna be covered anyways, so if this is a little bit sloppy, you're drilling, don't worry about it too much, because you have this big giant washer that's gonna be over the top of it, basically hiding everything. So don't sweat it too much. I may, for this one over here, since it looks like it's not quite aligned as well as the other side, take a Dremel tool and just open that up a little bit more, so that way that fits in there nice and flush. You want these fitting in here as flush as possible, so that way if you accidentally slam the hood or something, you don't damage anything too significantly. So we'll go ahead, I'm gonna cut this carbon out here, kind of get this out of the way, see what we got, and I may open this area up a little bit more over here on this side. We are ready now for the washers. So we will take these, we're just going to center it exactly over that piece right there, and make sure that this is on here square how you want it, where you want these screws. We will make some marks in each one of these 4 corners. We will drill the holes out first with a smaller drill bit, and then we will go ahead and fasten them down with the screws that come in the kit. I did mark every single hole with just like a bronze Sharpie marker, and then I have a very small drill bit here. It's a little bit smaller than the actual size of the screws that I'm using, which is what you want. you just want to get a hole started so that way these have something to go into. I'm just tightening these up by hand with just a screwdriver. Everything is all mounted and installed on here. Essentially from this point on, we are pretty much done and home free once you've made it to this step. These are all tightened down as much as I want to get these tightened. Everything looks pretty darn good. The hood is closed all the way right now, and as we can see, these are sticking up just slightly, which is about right. The only thing we'll have to do is play with the height adjustment on these. This one actually looks pretty darn close. This one's gonna have to go down some. Like I mentioned, I do want more tension on this hood in order to push this down so that way we get more of an even gap here. So this one will need to get lowered, and that one might be okay. But we'll play with the height adjustment on them and we'll get this corrected. I'm just gonna show you real quick here the difference that it makes on this side. So in order to get this hood pin in, what I'll do is I will push down on this and also put this pin in and try to do it here on camera. So right now it's holding it down, and this is so much flatter, and this body line lines up a lot nicer now with that pin in place. So this is going to be, I'll just need to flip that over, but other than that, this is going to be the look of the hood. Pretty decent. Definitely much more confident that this hood is going to be secured down. I was a little bit skeptical of it. Any aftermarket hood, not a bad idea to run hood pins on them. And these were a pretty cheap security measure anyways. These are only like 12 bucks, I think. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move on to doing the struts next. We're gonna go ahead and throw these in. These should be pretty quick and easy, the quick release hood struts. So these shouldn't give me too many issues. So let's get these started. And I forgot to mention it too, make sure to tighten up these nuts over here so these don't get loose and start moving around on you. This is a 19mm nut, so a 19 on the top, like a 19 on the bottom, or a pair of pliers if you can't get a wrench in there, and just cinch both sides down. We have 2 struts, one goes on each side. We'll set one over here, and then one over here, and then we have a little package here, and this is what contains our brackets in here. So these I already did paint. I painted these previously when I was painting something else on another video. So these are nice and black. They were stainless steel before, which didn't really match anything. So let's get this part removed here first. And hopefully this will be long enough. If not, we might need to get a longer bolt for it, but it looks like it is threading in, so that's good. Okay. And I'm not gonna fully tighten it down right now, just because it's not necessary. We'll do that at the end. This is gonna go through the outside, just like this, and then you have a nut that goes on here. Just thread this on, just like so. So that takes care of that. Here's how it looks from the front. So you'll notice that this piece right here is on the outside, facing the fender, and then the nut goes on the inside, facing the engine bay. And then this is just the instructions right here. I'm just making sure I put these in the right spots. So this one, this will get twisted around, just like this. So it'll be facing this way again with the nut facing the engine bay towards it. And then, so this will get threaded into that hole here. Looks like I'm gonna have to either push the hood up or compress this a little bit, because it's a little bit long right now. So we'll take this nut off first and then we'll compress it and see if we can get this in here. This side is good to go. Nut is on. I'll need to tighten everything down. We'll go hammer this other side out and then we'll test it, make sure it works, and then we can tighten everything down after that. This is gonna be the moment of truth here. We'll go ahead, and we don't have this strut up here anymore. It's easily holding the hood up on its own, and there's no prop in the way of getting into like the engine bay or anything. It's nice that these are on the sides. So we'll see if this works how it is intended. With everything now tightened down, that's going to be a wrap for the video, both the hood struts and the hood pins. So everything went very smoothly, definitely happy with that. Stay tuned for the next video. I have a couple more parts and some cool stuff that's going to be coming up here in the future, so stay tuned and I'll see you in the next one.